Mice all over the place.
Yeah,
Mice, you can't even see anything from the ceiling to the wire.
yeah.
Everything was fantastic. The old system we had, it was cutting out so much, it was unbelievable.
And we're trying to do it on the cheap, so it makes it easy.
We use, the smartest thing we have. All the computer. Can't even think of the name of the damn. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pilot.
Yeah, it'll pop up right there.
They didn't, provide us mice.
Is Shelley, oh yeah, I haven't seen her.
No, she's enjoying the waiting room, yeah.
Okay, but otherwise we have her, but
Yeah, there's 6 of you.
it's not quite 4:00. If we don't talk too much about City Park Pond late, we might get this meeting done real fast.
If I was to understand anything about North Island.
We heard it.
No, now it's time set. I'm just joking.
It's just. Yeah,
bring me the
Yeah.
Yes. Shelley just joined.
So she's on?
Yep.
And it's 4:00. So we'll go ahead and start. Good afternoon. Welcome to the City Council Planning Commission meeting on April 14th. We're convening at 4. And we have 3 Planning Commission members here in City Hall and 4 members who are with us, joining us online. Joining us online is Chris Davis, Colin Boscaroo, Jim Stone, and Shelley McIntyre, our ex officio city council person. And in the room on my left is Ron Thomas, on my right is Judy Miller, and my name is Doug Wright. Also joining us, we have Kathy Marr, who's the Director of Planning and Code Administration, and Steve Miller, who is zoning administrator, and Megan Flick, city planner, and Debbie Calhoun, our secretary and glue. So we'll start with our agenda. We have first item is approval of minutes, but they're not ready yet, so we'll take them off for next time. We have no development reviews, which leaves only, not only, but the only item tonight is proposed fiscal year 2022 capital improvement program, otherwise known as the CIP. It is our responsibility to review this every year as it's being drafted and make a recommendation to the mayor and council, particularly along the lines of whether it's meeting the needs of the comprehensive plan and following our objectives laid out in our plan. So I'll turn it over to Kathy.
Okay. In the packet, I gave you the complete list of the projects.
Let me stop you a second.
All right.
Can you guys hear us?
Yes,
Yeah, not very well, though.
All right.
All right, I'll try better. In the packet, I gave you the complete list of the projects that are in the CIP. And then I also, as I usually do, created a summary for you of the ones that are the most of interest to planners. There's a lot of stuff in the CIP that's made, to put on a new roof, that kind of thing. But this is more to do with roads, trails, parks, utilities, that kind of thing that I put in the summary. And so I've grouped them by the general fund budget, water and wastewater budgets, and the stormwater management budget. Those were the three areas where there were projects of the most planning interest that I thought. But if there are other projects you would like me to look up in here so you can get more information, I'd be more than happy to do it. I brought the right book tonight, which is good. Went to the council meeting last night, but the last year's CIP book, and that was not very helpful. So, yeah, the right one tonight. Okay, so the first project, the Urban Improvement Project Plaza. The Urban Improvement Project was, of course, a project that many people in the community were working on. That was the expansion to the Maryland Theater, expansion to the Barbara Ingram School for the Arts, expansion to the University System of Maryland. And what we're doing, the city's role in that UIP was to work on the plaza that was supposed to be the glue that tied all three together. And it was going to be behind the properties, behind West Washington Street, so it could connect to the back end of the Maryland Theater and the back end of the Barbara Ingram School for the Art Edition, and then on the back side, run over to where USMH is got their hospitality management program space set up. And it's a space that is going to allow people to gather, but perhaps more importantly, it serves as a place for the service needs for the theater and the School for the Arts, where the buses come through, the trucks, the deliveries, the buses for performers, that kind of thing. So this is a better space to accommodate all of that. And so in FY22, what's in the budget is the acquisition of the property that we have to acquire and then actual construction of the plaza. And the companion piece to that is the next one on here, which is the Hagerstown Cultural Trail, extending that from Antietam Street to the side of the district court building, across the plaza, and then through where the building was just torn down next to 4952 West Washington Street, come through there and come out to West Washington Street. And so both of those projects are supposed to happen in this coming fiscal year.
Question on that one.
Yes.
Recent announcement in the paper about funding has been secured for a new multi-purpose stadium. Pictured in the paper to be downtown.
Mhm.
Also in that picture, that plan, the eastern edge of that covers the existing trail now. Is that existing trail going to remain, or do we know yet? Or if it gets disconnected, do we know anything yet on
I
that?
don't know that we know yet how we will accommodate the trail. There will still be a way to get it through there, whether the stadium facility fits in what's existing there, or we shift things around a little bit, but there will still be, the trail will still technically city park.
So spending
It
this
might be a
money,
little different.
spending this money in the upcoming year won't be a waste of money because we'll get disconnected.
Well, we will get from Washington Street down to Antietam, and then I don't know what happens when you get closer to the car wash in terms of the trail. It might have to shift around at that point.
The papers, again, the picture in the paper showed the car wash gone. So that-
Rodney has indicated, the city engineer, that we will still have the trail. It may have to shift a little bit down.
okay,
If, you know, at that point, it was, if the stadium project never happened. So now that it's looking more positive with funding assigned towards that stadium project, then we'll have to really take a look at how we accommodate the trail. But the trail will not be gone. It may have to change, but it won't be gone. And we've been working for a long time on this phase two, getting it up to West Washington Street. Because now, if you're on West Washington Street, the way you get to the trail is a little, you know, if you go down the alley or you go around the library, take out the right, this would be more direct. It also gets you to the ending of the Market Walk Trail, which runs through the side USMH. This would actually enable you to go from the farmer's market down Frank Street, cross over next to the old Chevy Chase Bank, which is where that trail was, and then the side of USMH, you get to Washington Street, and you go across, and that's where you connect up against the new section of the cultural trail, and take down the Antietam, and then, of course, from Antietam south is where the existing phase one trail is.
And I expect to have the site plan for this in front of you hopefully next week.
And then, city park improvements, they're gonna rebuild pedestrian bridges in the park, in the budget, and then do, some work on the Vise Van Shell. Maintenance work as well as adding a movie screen, which is interesting. And then Fairgrounds Park improvement, design and construction of a skate park. This is something that was recommended to be in the Fairgrounds Park way back in the beginning when we had the master plan for the park. But there wasn't a user group, which made it hard to do much with that idea. Like BMX from day one had a user group, and that's why that got developed almost immediately. Well, there is now a user group, and they were the ones that worked with the designer on how they want this to be. And we've got some funding for it, and so that's pretty exciting, but that will be designed and constructed in this fiscal year as proposed budget. Woodland Way Park, the city has, I think the county's been making overtures about this for a while, and the city has finally decided, okay, once the county makes some upgrades, we are willing to accept Woodland Way Park as a city park. And then what's in the CIP is some updates to the signage for that park. It's a park that's kind of, I don't think it's on the front burner for the county, so it would be nice to incorporate it into the city park system. Antietam Creek Waterway Trail, this is, I think it's that aqua group that is proponent of this trail, the Antietam Creek Waterway Alliance, maybe? It's an acronym. But anyway, what we're gonna do is construct a portage trail in a small parking lot on Manhattan Road, so you could get a boat from your vehicle down to the creek. I guess perhaps near the dam.
That's what I was gonna ask, where, you know more,
Yeah.
where, okay.
And then professional court extension, and we just got some more federal money awarded to us to help with this project. As you know, the county is building the bridge over the Antietam Creek that will allow professional court from Eastern Boulevard cross over the creek, and then becomes a professional boulevard running through and eventually out to Rockwood Drive, Yale Drive, that whole interconnected network out there. Our goal in that project is to widen professional court in the city so that we can accept all this new traffic that's going to be coming. That's currently dead end, so it's not really a lot of traffic now. And so it'll be a lot of turn lanes and that kind of thing. And so we have been chasing federal money to help us with this work. And so in this coming fiscal year, we've got 1.25 million for it, and the following fiscal year, we budgeted 1.55 million. So over 2 fiscal years, apparently we'll get that work done. And then for the pavement preservation or road resurfacing, every year we put money in the budget for that. This year they're doing portions of North Birmingham, Jefferson, Bellevue, and some others. And there's no more detail than that in the budget book, but if you want more, I can contact engineering.
Well, Birmingham's done.
And then alley reconstruction. I don't know how many people know the alleys by their numbers, but in the budget book, we have them. Alley 5-62, which is actually going to be a wall on the alley being repaired, which is between Mealy Parkway and East Urban. Alley 2-76 and 77, which goes from Howard to Pine. And then alley 3-41, which runs from the library to Baltimore Street. That's where we're going to be doing some alley reconstruction work in the coming budget year.
I grew up in the Mealy Parkway or East Urban Avenue area. I spent most of my childhood in that alley. I do not know how to retain one. Okay.
But it's in the book. Sidewalk, maybe it's going to be a new retaining wall. Maybe there's something that needs to be retained in there. Sidewalk replacement program, as we mentioned last year, the city has taken that over, and used to be the property owner's responsibility. And so we're putting $125,000 in the budget each year to work on sidewalks that need to be repaired or replaced. And then consolidation and relocation of public safety assets. This is actually a fire department project. Last night, the mayor and council gave nods to the head that they're in favor of acquiring the South Potomac Street parcel that we have been exploring for quite some time, which is the old Cassidy trucking part of Columbia Gas property, for a new station that would also be a relocation for the fire department headquarters, the fire marshal's office, and one or two of the volunteer companies. And so what's in this fiscal year is, this coming fiscal year is acquisition. For 23 is design, and for 24 is for the building of the facility.
That's down there, where the railroad track goes across and
It's below Sycamore.
Right across from Buster Elementary.
oh,
So if we have a major fire, the school being let in or out, and 700 some kids coming in and out there, it could be very interesting.
Well, they're going to have a way to exit onto Sycamore. That was part of the presentation last night.
backup.
In case there is an issue with getting out, or you don't want to go south or north or whatever, you could go up to Sycamore and head west if you need to.
Basically, easement through the,
And the fire department training center,
Not the landowner to the east.
kind of, that's a sort of a swoop off more towards the west, it doesn't run right up behind, doesn't run right by the alley. Fire department training center improvements, this would be for, this is the city's fire training center, which we make available to fire agencies in the region. And it's in the Hagerstown Industrial Park back behind the wastewater treatment plant. It's gonna be for a new burn building, a new pole building with SCBA names. That's something very good for firefighting training. A second hydrant and showers and restrooms. And so there's 1.3 million in the coming year's budget, and then for 23, $500,000. It's I think I've heard the chief say it was put in the 60s, so there's a desire for some more amenities, more upgrades, and more facilities that are pertinent to modern fire training.
Kathy, Kathy, is the city going to eliminate its only remaining downtown fire company?
That has been on the table. Whether that's completely firmed up, I'm not sure.
Well, you mentioned though that it mentions land acquisition for 2 new facilities. Is one of those going to be a new home for the first hose company, whatever the one is that's downtown South Potomac?
They're looking at, the first priority is acquiring the land on South Potomac Street. They're also looking at land up on Wakefield in the west end. So that the west end fire facility would be closer to all this development we've annexed and is ongoing out on the other side of 81.
Okay, well, I mean, I have long been concerned about the fact that over the past few years, the city has taken every single fire company but one out of the downtown area and moved them out. I understand some of the reasoning for it, but I think it sends a huge message if we intend to promote our downtown area, but we move all the fire companies elsewhere. I mean, that's just a comment for the record.
I've heard from the fire chief that their feeling is that they can get into the downtown faster than they can get out of the downtown. So if they need downtown, they can get in pretty quickly, but if they have to get from downtown out of downtown, it's a little bit more of a project.
Well, he has made it clear that he doesn't want any of the fire companies in the downtown area, and I understand his opinion and so forth, but I think it's the council's responsibility to say, wait a minute, what are we doing here? And I hope that the council would consider that before it eliminates the one remaining fire company that we have in the downtown area.
I can relay those concerns. The city council has been working very closely with the fire chief on these plans. But I can relay those concerns.
Ron, you were saying something.
But about the fire department trees?
Yeah, it was the one on Main House, the one out there on Old Avenue.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there was enough space
Maybe the left
down over the hill, yeah, but you know, I'm just wondering if there was enough space down in there, you can't see. But so much from the street.
And then in the water and wastewater budgets, there is $460,000 in the budget to do for inflow infiltration correction work, which is called citywide collection system rehab. If you fill the wastewater plant up with non-paying stormwater customers, it's sure paying customers will become dangerous, so they look for defective pipes to replace them on design. And they have been able to gain more capacity for water plant for this work.
Which is critically important,
For the water plant upgrade.
which is critically important for nitrogen removal processes, so that we can add more in the future. Real wastewater.
Yeah, waste. Yeah, that's right. And then Edgemont Reservoir Improvement Project, for the coming year, it's still in the design phase. There's a lot of back and forth that's going on their expectations for the design and their expectations for aspects of the facility that are already out there. So it's still kind of bogged down in design. There's money in there to continue that, as well as to monitor seepage and for acquisition of watershed for the top surprise, which is out watershed out by Edgemont. And then for the stormwater management budget, the three big things that I thought might be of interest. One is the stormwater management station. The big project for this coming budget year that's proposed is to retrofit the MKS Business Park storm pond, which you might not even be aware that it's there unless you're part of the original site plan approval back in the day. But back sort of behind the side of the war building, it looks like wood. There's a stormwater facility back there that's perhaps not functioning to the best. So the city is going to retrofit that facility.
This is the end of Oval Court.
It's if you look at Google Maps and stuff, it looks like woods. It's sort of
Yeah.
a little bit north of Fire and the Sierra Station, and to the south of Fedora and stretches back from it.
Okay.
I went to engineering to figure out where it was sitting. I was looking at Google and I couldn't tell. There was nothing that said, oh yeah, that's.
There's one in beside Sheep too, but that's different.
But yes, it's on the east side.
Yeah.
That's the
But the
MKS.
slope goes down towards.
MKS is the east side.
Yeah.
And what I learned, what we're planning to do is replace the outlet structure with a concrete rear wall, to install some water quality floor base that will bring the pond close to today's regulations. And we'll pay for the pond maintenance out of the stormwater. That's the big retrofit project. As we do these retrofits, we get more credits towards this older we're into, and then we can pay. Stream restoration, in the coming budget year, there's money for design work to, currently the banks of the Hamilton Run stream behind Long Meadow Park, which runs from the Legion over to Terra, is very eroded, so it's going to work to repair that. And so it's designed in the coming year. And ultimately, it apparently it's about 900 feet of work. So they're looking at it. I was looking at it on Google, this one thing, and part of it looks like a natural creek, and that's where you listen to the ocean. And then when you get on the other side of the terrace, it seems to be a channelized thing, and then it disappears from it. It goes over more than Long Meadow Shopping Center.
Right,
Yeah.
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 It goes, yeah, right where that, physical therapist guy is, right there, he comes out for our billboard.
Yeah.
So,
So it disappears for a while, but I'm not sure if we're doing work on the channelized section or just where it's still in a natural state. But they talk in the description about the erosion of the banks. Would be that whole run between the terrace and then probably proposed to the west as well. It would be looking at the future project. Green streets. This is the another way to gain credits. Reconstruct existing streets to improve pedestrian access to streets and purpose of construct new planning beds candidate stormwater credits. The plan for this coming budget year is to work on West Hillcrest between Pennsylvania and behind it in the education as well. And so those were the highlights that I thought would be of interest to the planning commission. But as I said, I am here to answer any questions about the way forward. If you want to talk about any other projects that you see in the charts that were attached to that memo.
No, it's, no commission of any projects for West End question.
You said
East End.
Yeah, excuse me, East End.
it is not in the CIP, it is in the 2008 water distribution system master plan, which I can do it. So, it depends, it could be coming if Black Rock PUD gets approved to double the size it was originally approved at, kind of these recommendations in their master plan, they come forward just so that we can accommodate that. Right now, it's a development that's approved for just shy of 600, like the 40 county now, wanting to amend the PUD to be close to like 1,200, which is a big jump. And it's on the edge of our service area, water area. So,
I'm concerned because they're talking about those hotels there, just before you get to 70 on the right-hand side of the highway. Darkwood, Falls Darkwood. Once they put those in, there's going to be a need for additional, not only water, but wastewater treatment, sewage.
we're approved.
Yeah, there was some agreement to that, there was some discussion at that time, that site plan. Well, I was happy to see $500,000 for new sidewalks. And I see we're, say, put some money aside for Northwest Florida in future years, which I know is interesting.
Every once in a while, we get inquiries from developers about what are the restrictions on development of that land. But the annexation is a lot of strings on what can happen there, and so we periodically get contact. So if that moves forward, then the developer portion of that can get built, and then it may be set up, figure one of the bridge. So that you can get the Northwest Connector across the tracks and over to Salem, and over to Marshall and from Marshall to Salem, and we'll touch it with the plan show that Northwest Connector going through that track.
And that intersection of the Burhan's Salem has always been a struggle. So that will help take some off of this.
A lot of traffic away from that more urban part of that neighborhood. It's just a lot of-
Anybody else have anything?
Or if you don't see something that you think should be in there, what do you want to pass a recommendation? The other thing is what do you want, what we would seek is a recommendation as to whether we feel it's in the CIP. And again, these projects that I summarized are the ones that seem the most related to as opposed to maintenance. And vehicles. That's a good part of the CIP.
I see you're getting all the vehicles. Yep. There's some version I like to keep an eye on. Yeah. Keep asking. We good.
Planning staff and some of the supervisor staff and administration share this. We have no complaints.
Anybody with us virtually have any questions? Anybody, either one of you all? Then I think we need a motion then to make a recommendation, to Mayor and Council, that we have reviewed the comprehensive plan found compliance with the we review CIP plan down in compliance with the comprehensive plan.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
You ready to vote? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? And I have one abstention out there somewhere.
Abstain.
Ah, geez. All right, the motion passes. The other item we have tonight is the Board of Zoning Appeals agenda. First one, is right around the corner from Judy, right across the street. The fence is already up, right?
What happened was, is the fence contractor installed it, there's slope to the property, and which was over section of the fence. It was caught by the inspectors.
Steve, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, project towards the
Oh,
camera.
not this thing. Now it doesn't work. Hi, Chris. Okay, what happened was, is that, the property owner went to the HDC and got approval for the fence. They got the permit. It went up due to, the grade along West Baltimore Street there. The fence was kind of stalled and taking into account the slope, and as a result, there's sections in the fence, not all of it, but sections of the fence that exceed the maximum 6 feet in height for a fence in the residential zoning district. It was caught by the inspectors when they went out to final out the zoning permit for the fence. So what they're doing is they're applying for the BZA for variance. It's at most it's 8 inches above the maximum 6 feet, and it's not even 8 inches in all places. It's anywhere from 0 to 8 inches above 6, depending on where it's located. I took it to the HDC. The HDC doesn't want to see a revised HDC application. What they said, it's a minor, they don't have a problem with it, and then we need to re-review the application. Just told me to get it straight. So,
Another indication where they follow this, a level across the yard rather than following the slope of it.
No, it goes down fast, and the fence goes down fast. It's just a certain time, I guess. We just didn't get it. It was perfect.
No.
The other part too is that it's more like 8 inches, the top part, that's the priority is to comply, they take the ornamental part off the top.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
they
Yeah.
go to some effort to make that fence look nice.
Yeah, they did. And compared to what was there before, I mean, it certainly has improved.
And it's a nice indication too, that this is no longer a vacant property, there is home over there. Correct.
I'm saying, I've seen a lot of times what they do is they try to keep the top of the fence level. And put extensions on the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nicely built.
Yeah, I just kind of blew by it, kind of looking at it real quick, and the BZA application doesn't have a lot of background provided testimony. So I'm not exactly sure the exact angle of their argument, but that's kind of.
I hear no one's got any concerns about that one. Nope. The other one is the House of Kobe.
Yeah, House of Kobe is looking to put a small addition on the side of the building, building at Tracy Lane. They're kind of going out places to put stuff just to do the nature of that property. It actually moves into the right of way. It's by a couple of feet. Already with the mayor and council. The mayor and council have approved a license agreement to allow us to go to the street right of way. So now we're going to easy the permission to go from the 15-foot setback down to 0, so they can go another 2 feet into it for connecting to what they got in place. So,
But it's not in the actual street.
no, it's not in the street. I just want to be clear. It's in the right. It's going to be about this far sticking into the right.
I don't think there's a sidewalk on that side of the House of Kobe. Mike, first, I guess it does. Yeah, Bill Hyman, Tracy Lane. The other question I have is parking here is hard to get. When they're got a full house, it's a mess.
I think that was one of their arguments as well, because if they put it anywhere else in the building, it's going to jam up parking.
Really jam up anyway.
This doesn't increase seating.
Right. Or take away the parking.
There is a sidewalk there. I don't believe it's going to interfere with the sidewalk.
I have it up on the screen on maps.
And it doesn't take away from the parking. It's going to be-
All right. Anybody want to have any concerns with that?
Not that anybody at home can see it, but the additions to the way we consider.
I can figure out where this is going to go.
All right, oh yeah, he's already. On the right one. Bruce's side. Okay. No concerns about that either? I guess we're ready to call for adjournment. We're adjourned. Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you.